What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for adjusting your time. Usually we're a little later, so I've been getting texts and messages saying I'm coming, like I gotta get my kids in bed or I gotta get them quiet. Brad, I know he's on here, we are a team full of moms, really. And so there are people probably listening, trying to get their kids to sleep at the same time. So people will be logging on, but I'm not gonna wait because we only got Brad until 9. He needs to be off and on another call at 9. But I'm excited that he's here. I'm excited that he took time out of his busy night to come and sow into us. If those of you guys that know me really well know that I believe that everything rises and falls on belief, right? We don't need another invite training. I'm just going to be honest, okay? We don't need another tracker because you would use the trackers that you had and you would send the invites if you actually believed that it would work. Everything rises and falls on belief. If you knew the program you were doing was going to give you the energy and what you wanted in your health and wellness, you wouldn't miss a day. There's a lack of belief. I truly believe that, and I've taught that many, many times. And so when I saw Brad teaching this, I have to vet people out. I told Brad this because I'm very, very careful who I put in front of you guys and what we fill your time with. But the more and more people that I talk to, the more and more times his name kept coming up. I was like, I have got to get this guy in front of you guys, right? I mean, here's the deal. We have to start looking at things from a different perspective. We aren't stuck because we need more training. Trust me, right? It's kind of like this. It's kind of like I had short hair at 2 o'clock and now I have long hair. You know what I'm saying?
Shakeology.
No, it wasn't Shakeology. But I was like, look, I surprised Chad with a trip to Nashville for his birthday, and he likes long hair. I was in quite the conundrum because I just cut my hair off because y'all ever get antsy with your hair and you're like, let's do something fun. It's going to grow back. And then I was like, well, I ain't growing back fast enough. So then I was like, let me find a way. Like where there's a will, there's a way. And I was like, extensions. Boom. Extensions. Right? Like where there's a will, there's a way. I believe, right? But what are people going to say? Are they be like, God, like, are there chemicals on that tape? Isn't she struggling with that? Like, do you know what I mean? What do people say? Like, what the heck? Her hair wasn't like, who cares? We got to get to this place where we care less about what people think and we develop a vision and a belief for what we want. I have a vision, a very clear vision of Nashville with long hair, and so I made it happen. You know what I'm saying? Okay? Long stretch, but I'm serious. It all comes down to belief, okay? And Brad is the best that there is to teach on this. So let me introduce him and just hand it over to him. Brad is a husband and a dog dad, he said. Like, you know you're in good company when someone describes themselves as a dog dad. I was like, how can you not like him? Like, do you know what I mean? He's a mindset strategist and inspirational speaker, host of, write this down right now, because I didn't even know this, Brad, host of the Path to Mindset Mastery podcast and creator of Appreciation Academy. Write that down. Appreciation Academy. Right then and there, you know that you're working more on the legacy side of things. You're working more from a place of heart. You know, love deeper is something that I love that I saw. How many of you guys are doing positive thinking? That summit, right? Dabo, he won me over. Griffin may only go to Clemson to play football. That's who I want him to play for. He can go where he wants, but you see what I'm saying? Because love deeper is something that Dabo says, and I get that feeling from Brad. He specializes in helping online business owners break through negative self-talk that's holding them back from their dreams. The only thing holding us back is our belief system, this negative self-talk, and we need the skills. It's a skill to navigate it, right? Or we're just going to keep the cycle of death that we stay in sometimes, and we need to break that cycle. So I'm going to hand this over to Brad, and he's just going to take over. And you guys, this is full of so much value. I want you to focus right here. You know, like minimize the distractions, get a piece of paper, take some notes, and be ready to apply what he's teaching you. Be open, lean in, smile at him. I'm telling you what, from one speaker to another, Brad, there is something that sucks about this view. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Give him the energy, and I'm telling you what, he will feed off of that even more, and he's about to rock your world. So, Brad, are you here?
I am here. Can you guys hear me? Is that coming through? Give me a big thumbs up.
We got you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let me make sure this gain on the microphone isn't too high. Awesome. What's going on, everyone? Happy Wednesday night. It is such a privilege to be here. It's such a privilege to share with you guys. And I just want you to know that I'm not going to betray your trust over this next hour. Your time is something you cannot get back. So my promise to you is that over this next hour, I'm going to go above and beyond to help you master this thing, to help you master your mindset. Because have you ever noticed that it's your mindset that makes or breaks the entire business actually happening, right? Have you ever noticed also, like when you're kind of in a bad state, you kind of want to stay there. Like you kind of don't want to get out of it. If you're pissed off, you kind of want to stay pissed off. And how does that apply to your business though? In your business, if you get into a down state and it lasts a week, 2 weeks, well, that leads to inconsistency and your business results won't happen. So what would happen if we could eliminate that negative space in our mind in 3 minutes instead of a couple weeks? That's what you're going to learn how to do tonight. So before we get rocking and rolling, put the phones on silent. If you want to take your picture for Instagram stories now, do that now. And then post it up later, put the kids in a closet, whatever you have to do, just be fully present. And I promise it'll be worth your time. So in the chat box, let's start with some amazing participation. What's a really big goal that you have for 2019? Type that into the chat box right now. And I'd love to just see what we're coming up with here. And there's such a cool thing about this goal. There's a recipe to making it happen, meaning there's a way to do it. 5-star Ashley, or Match Your Husband's Income Amanda, or Diamond by August, all these amazing goals. There's a way to do it. You have one of the most incredible leaders in the entire company teaching you how to do that, right? So just like Summer said at the beginning of the call, it's not another invite training that we need. It's how we think, right? You know your basic business building behaviors. That's your recipe. But what you might miss is how you go about using your ingredients in that recipe is what matters. What that means is you could think you're setting a really big goal, but if your mindset's off, you're actually setting a goal based out of fear instead of who you want to become. You could invite 1 billion people to your challenge groups, but if your mindset's off, you're going to repel them. You could have the best training for your team in the world, but if your mindset is off, they're not going to do anything, and you're going to feel like you have to force your business. So my point in this is that what goes on in your mind, your self-talk, your mindset, that's by far and above the most important piece out of all of this. And you've heard that before, right? Type yes if you heard the cliche, change your thinking, change your life. You've heard that a million times. Well, how the heck do you do that, right? That's what I'm here to teach you, how to change your thinking, even when you're in a place when you don't want to. So where does negative self-talk come from? In my opinion, it comes from reference points of our past. Limiting beliefs come from things we have gone through, reference points in our past that we apply to future situations, even though they're not true. So what I'm going to do is share just a couple of quick stories about what I've gone through in my life and how it brought up limiting beliefs and how I turned them into an amazing tool for success and for happiness. So you might have a totally different story, and that's okay. But try to relate in some way and see how I turn this around. So growing up, I had an emotional roller coaster of a childhood, and it gave me some really screwed up beliefs about how life is. And I'm curious, type yes if you can relate to the topic of money stress, whether past or present. Any point in your life, money stress. That was a huge stressor in my life for years and years and years. My parents fought every day about money. That is not exaggeration, not hyperbole. Every single day there was a screaming match about money. And so I grew up thinking that it was a horrible thing to have. It's something that you had to work your butt off just to barely get by. And I remember one time there was another fight about money. And I remember going up to my mom and being like, Mommy, why do you guys have to fight about stupid money? And in that moment, excuse my language, I'm just sharing the story. She says in that moment, like, shut the fuck up, get over to your room. I don't need you right now, right? That was kind of the vibe. And that was kind of the vibe my entire childhood, right? And again, excuse my language just for the story effect here, but in that moment, what happened was my dad comes over with a soap dispenser and starts pouring soap all over my mom, on her head, on her neck, down her back. And so from that moment on, I was terrified of money, terrified of it. Because whenever it came up, it seemed like someone was about to get punched in the face. And that never happened, right? But all the fights around it made me fear having it. It's why it took me 6 years to propose to my amazing wife. It's because I thought that if we got married and had money, it would rip us apart. And so I saw my dad working 90, 100-hour weeks, barely getting by. So my point in bringing that up, as you can imagine, for those of you guys that don't know, I was a Beachbody coach for 5 years. I love everything about Beachbody. It's my family. And the only reason I can't do it is because it's a conflict of interest with what my true purpose in life is. Beachbody is amazing. And you can imagine when I started out my business, I wanted the big dreams. I wanted, the mass impact. I wanted the 5-star, the elite, all that stuff. But money is bad. Do you see how that might hold me back from achieving some big goals, right? And so you might have a similar story in some way, right? Limiting beliefs about something, but wanting a big dream where you want to sprint 100 miles an hour in one direction, but you have chains around your ankles. And on top of the money, I had a really tough relationship with my mom. Type yes if you can relate to having a turbulent relationship with a family member in some way, shape, or form, whether past or present. Me too. Me too. And I remember growing up, I never knew what version of my mom I was going to get. I've had to go through tons of personal growth about how to forgive, how to change the meaning of past experiences. That's a whole other topic in itself. I'll talk to you guys about that at the end. And from doing that, I've been able to forgive her and move forward. We have a good relationship now, but getting to that point took some time because I was angry and I was sad. And I didn't realize she was loving me in the only way she knew how at the time. My point of bringing this up is that I never knew what version of her I was going to get. I never knew if I was going to get the, hey, sweetie, how was your day? I never knew if I was going to get the, why are you talking to me version. I never knew if I was going to get the narcissistic version where it's her problem of the week going on right now, right? I didn't know what I was going to get. And so I grew up always never knowing who I had to be to deserve her love. That's how I grew up. So I grew up never feeling like I was enough. And it changed how I lived my entire life. I wanted to be the center of attention. I wanted to be up on stage. I wanted to be doing talks. And part of that's a beautiful thing because it led me to what my purpose is in life. But you can imagine if I have this limiting belief of not being enough and I want to create mass impact, do you see how that might hold me back? I'm not enough. How many of you guys feel you're not enough for a big goal? In some way, shape, or form. That's a limiting belief. And you might have a totally different story, and that's okay. But where can you relate? What limiting belief or beliefs do you have now because of something that happened years ago that you haven't changed the meaning of yet? Because when you go through these experiences, a past failure or something traumatic in your past, it forms your abilities, or your beliefs about your abilities. So when I started my business, it didn't matter how many people I invited. It didn't matter how many social media posts I put up. It didn't matter how many inviting trainings I did or Instagram trainings. Instagram stories wasn't even a thing back then, right? I just always felt like things were forced. I just felt stuck. How many of you feel stuck in some way, shape, or form in your business or any part of your life? That's what we're going to master. So I had to figure out how to fix it. And I went on a journey of changing my entire life. I figured out what was holding me back. I invested thousands and thousands of dollars into personal growth and seminars and books and coaching and hundreds of hours to figure out what was going on up here. And I figured it out. And it led me to the creation of my program I'll talk to you guys about at the end. That's how I changed my life. But the reason I tell you that is because when I tried to build a business, the overwhelming amount of negative self-talk and lack of belief and secret obstacles that I didn't even realize existed at the time stopped me. So we can't go through that whole system in 1 hour. But if you take this really seriously, you're going to learn 3 of the major steps that I took to exploding my life. So let's start with number 1. Write this down. Your thoughts are always the reason. Your thoughts are always the reason. So the first thing you can do is change the way you think. And you've heard that a million times. It's a cliche for a reason, but how? Well, let's backtrack a little bit. You start to tell yourself stories, right? Money is bad. Building a team is hard. My teammates won't do anything. It's so much easier for summer. I'm not enough. And if you say that crap enough times, what happens? You start to believe it. Whatever you repeat to yourself consistently, you will believe, whether it's BS or not. So have you ever been with your buddies or your friends over the years, and to sound cooler than you actually are, you exaggerate a story so you get more laughs or more attention? I used to do that all the time. I probably still do with them, right? And so you get more laughs, more attention. So the next time you all get back together again, you exaggerate the story again. And then you find yourself 5 years into the future exaggerating the story, and you don't know what part of it is actually true, right? You're going, is that actually a true story? You don't even know. Do you know what I'm talking about, or am I crazy? Right? The same thing happens with negative self-talk. Only instead of it being a fun party topic, it will sabotage your whole life. And this is our starting point, our default software. And you go through life believing this. It creates inner conflict. It changes the way you lead your life, your business. Everything feels forced, and you let go of that heart piece that Summer was talking about. right? How many of you feel like you're forcing things all the time? It comes from how you think. So, and let me guess, even if you hit Success Club, things still don't happen to grow and you don't know why. That's what we're going to beat right now. So to change this, you have to believe that you're enough before the evidence of your business will ever say that you're enough. You have to believe that you are worthy of greatness before money is ever going to show up into your bank account. You have to believe that you're a great leader before teammates are going to flow into your business. And that's really hard to do if the evidence of your life is saying it's not true. So how do you do it? You change these beliefs by changing your questions. Write this down. Better questions will change your entire life. Better questions explode your business. They eliminate negative self-talk. They do everything positive for your life. How many of you, type yes if this is you, have you faced a point in your life where you try to convince yourself that you're good enough or that you deserve something great, but you don't actually believe you can do it? Like you want to believe it, but you already know you're going to fail before you start, even though you want the goal. Like you do a goal setting exercise or a vision board and you got the mansion, the debt-free, the 10-star, the elite, whatever it is, and you're looking at it and you know it would change your entire life. Everything would be different if you achieved that amazing goal, right? It'd be so incredible. But there's that little voice back here that's going, you're never going to do that. You know what I'm talking about? That little voice. You can barely hear me. It's just hanging out back there, just whispering doubt and insignificance into your subconscious mind. Do you guys know what I'm talking about, or am I crazy? Just give me a thumbs up so I know I'm not nuts. Okay, cool. So you have to change that thinking. And we can't do it all in an hour, but here is a start. So what is thinking? Thinking is nothing more than the process of asking yourself a question. That's all thinking is. Think about what you just did right there. You said, is that true? You were thinking about thinking, right? So if you ask yourself bad questions, you get really bad answers. So an example of that would be, why is it so hard for me? Why is it so much easier for summer? Why am I so fat? Why am I not pretty enough? Why am I not enough? Why am I so broke? Those would be bad questions. If you ask yourself great questions, you get great answers. An example of that would be, why am I worthy of greatness? Why do I have the ability to impact thousands of lives? Right? Those would be great questions. The mistake I made is I thought I just had to keep hitting Success Club. And you do. You do need to keep hitting Success Club. That is your benchmark for your business. That's how you measure it. But there comes a point when either A, every time you try, you miss it. B, you inconsistently hit it. Or C, even if you do hit it, nothing's happening. It's inner conflict in your heart. That's what we need to break through. So let me backtrack a little more and show you what I mean. This will make sense in a second. Look around the room you're in right now and count the number of things that you can find that are red. Ready to go. Count the number of things that you can find that are red. You can count my face because I feel like I'm kind of sunburnt in this frame right here. Count the number of things that are red. Look for red, look for red, look for red, look for red, look around the room for red, look for red, look for red, look for red, look for red, keep looking for red, look for red. Why are you looking at me? Look for red, 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 look for red. Cool. Type in the chat box or hold up your hands. How many things did you find that were red? 4, we got 0, 4, 5, awesome, 11. That's amazing, but question, guys, how many things did you find that were blue? No idea. Why? Because you weren't looking for blue, but check this out. Look around the room that you're in right now and find the number of things that are Beachbody blue. Look for blue, 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 look for blue everywhere, look for blue, look for blue, look for blue, keep looking for blue, count the things that are blue. You're going, holy cow, there's so much blue. Look for blue, 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 look for blue. Cool. Type in the chat box or hold up your hands. How many more things did you find that were blue? And how many of you even saw green and pretended it was blue just so you would feel successful in this exercise? You know who you are. So my point in bringing this up, when you look for red, what do you not notice? You don't even notice blue. When you look for blue, you don't even notice red, right? So if red is what you don't want, those bad questions, you'll never find what you do want. If you focus on blue, what you want, you don't notice the crap, right? So what you don't want, red, that's doubt, that's skepticism, that's pain. And those thoughts will grow in your mind like weeds. This is why, do you guys know who Jim Rohn is? Jim Rohn has an amazing quote that says, stand guard at the gates of your mind, or weeds grow automatically. What does that mean? That means that unless you condition your mind to focus on blue, what you want, your dream, you'll automatically find what you don't want and why you're stuck. Why is this? Because your brain doesn't care if you achieve your goals. Your brain doesn't care if you're happy. Your brain's primary job is to make sure you survive. So at any moment in time, it's looking to protect you from pain. So when you think about a big goal of, let's say, 10-star elite, right? Just hypothetically, 10-star elite, your brain's going, whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's go for 2-star instead, right? That's more realistic. Your brain will try to slow you down from achieving your big dreams because it doesn't want you to get hurt, because it might mean failure, rejection, pain. And if you focus on that, what do you find? You tend to find what you don't want. And the reason is because millions of years ago, you weren't worried about sending an invite on Facebook. You were worried about the saber-toothed tiger hiding in the bushes that was going to eat your baby, right? That's what you were worried about. So it's a survival-based brain. So if you're ever mean to yourself on a regular basis, it's just your brain doing its job. So that's okay. We can break through it, right? So let's do an example in your business to show you what I mean of a red question. Ask yourself this right now. Just ask yourself this in your own mind. Why am I not enough to build this business? Ask yourself that right now. Why am I not enough to build this business? And unless you've conditioned your mind to focus on blue, you're going to go, well, I don't know enough people. I don't have a social media following. I don't know how to invite. I don't know how to lead. How motivated do you feel when you ask a disempowering question like that? And how many disempowering questions like that flood out of your mind every day? And even when you read positive thinking, personal growth books, it doesn't change the fact that you have this voice in your head that says you're not enough. I shared what my limiting questions were, my biggest ones. There were more a couple minutes ago. Money is bad and I'm not enough. What are yours? How many of you type yes if you've ever said, why am I so stuck? Why don't people want to join me? Why can't I get it right? Why won't my team do anything? How come Chad likes my hair long, right? Why am I so broke? Why do I never catch a break? Why does it seem so much easier for other people? Why can't I do anything right? I'm giving you a hard time, dude. Will I always be this stuck? How many of you guys are actually mean to yourself like that on a regular basis, asking yourself why it's so hard to lose weight, why you can't get it right? How many of you are mean to yourself on a regular basis? It does not feel very good. And I bet it leads to a lot of pain, a lot of procrastination. And there you are looking at your life so frustrated with the results you're getting. And no matter how much someone believes in you or whispers belief into your ear, it doesn't change the fact that you have that voice in your head. So how do we do it? How do we beat this? Well, when you set a goal, your dominant beliefs determine if that goal comes true, right? And goal setting is nothing more than the process of trying to create a new reality as opposed to your current reality. That's all goal setting is. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is whether you're looking for red or looking for blue. That's it. And until that language is blue on a regular basis, you're going to find yourself stuck because you're looking for red. Does that make sense? Because when you look for red, what do you not see? You don't see blue. And I know this because I've lived it for years. So let's use the example of why is this so hard? Why is it so hard to build my business? Try it right now. Why is it so hard to build my business? Notice that your brain looks for an answer. Even if you're successful, you look for an answer, don't you? Something you need to understand is that your entire life can be changed by asking more empowering questions. Your brain is a Google search engine. It will answer whatever the hell you type into that search bar, but unless you type in blue intentionally, it will automatically find red. It will automatically type in red what you don't want. And when you type in red, you don't find blue. So what if you intentionally reverse this? If your responses are like Google, it means whatever you type in, you're going to get an answer. So you might as well be intelligent and ask it a question that's going to lead to a better life. When you say, why is this business so hard? What does your brain do? It finds all the reasons why you can't. So you never find a solution. When you sit down to work, you're literally looking for why you are not capable. So you don't send the invites. You wonder why more success bullet points aren't showing up in your online office, right? That's what happens. You procrastinate. You wonder why it's so hard. And here's what's crazy. What's crazy about this is that there's amazing people and opportunities and blue that stumble across your life every single day. But because your software in your brain is running on why is it so hard, red, you won't even notice it. Because when you look for red, you don't notice blue. You won't even notice the blue all around you. You won't notice that woman standing next to you in the grocery store checkout line that has high cholesterol, and you can literally save her life with Shakeology. You won't even notice her. You won't even notice that single dad that lives next door that has no idea how he's going to pay for his kid's college education, and you have his freedom trapped in your mouth right now. You won't even notice him because you're too focused on why it's so hard. But try this. Why is it so easy to rank your pants this month? Just try that. Why is it so easy to rank events this month? Or why is it so easy to hit Success Club? What happens? You still look for an answer, don't you? And even if you're brand new, you start to find all the reasons why you can do this. So if you say to yourself, if you're brand new, or if you're a new coach, and you say, why is it so easy to hit Emerald this week? What happens? You go, oh, it's just 2 people. I'll ask John and Susie, and then I'll ask 5 more people because I don't know who's going to say yes. And you start to look for, I'm obviously making up numbers and stuff, but you start to look for the people you could reach out to, the sacrifices you could make, the solutions to build your business instead of the problem. Can you imagine if you flood your mind with just this one part of my program every day? And here's the key. You don't even need to have the answer. You just need to live in a blue question that leads to a better life. Because when you know what you want and why you want it, the how will reveal itself. You'll figure out how. I guarantee you, when Summer started this business, she had no idea how she was going to get to where she is now. She figured it out because she looked for blue. She lived in empowering questions. Every problem you face is just a blue question you haven't asked yourself yet. So your homework, when we leave here in half an hour, your homework, you're going to write down all the negative crap you ask yourself on a regular basis. Why am I so broke? Why am I so fat? Why am I not worthy? Why is money so hard to make? Whatever it is, right? For all parts of your life, not just your business, write all of those down. And what you're going to do is you're going to flip those red questions into their empowering alternative, into the blue version of it. So why is it so easy to blank? Instead of why am I broke? Why am I so wealthy? Instead of why is this so hard? Why am I so grateful? Can you imagine how your life would change if you did that? 2 questions that changed my whole life. Why am I so kind to myself today? And number 2, why am I worthy of living an amazing life? Can you imagine if you ask yourself that on a regular basis? Like, life gets 100% easier if you're 1% nicer to yourself. So what you're going to do is you're literally going to flood your mind with this. Remember, when you look for blue, what do you not notice? You don't notice red. My wife probably thought I was crazy because I still do this. I listened to my questions. I recorded them on my phone with passion, with excitement, and I listened to my questions while I slept at night. Disclaimer, don't choke yourself on a headphone cord, right? I listened to them while I slept at night, while I walked the dog, while I did the dishes, when I was on the toilet, like literally any opportunity I could. I listened to my questions because I did not want to give my brain a fighting chance to find red. Does that make sense? I didn't want to give it a fighting chance. So how many of you guys are, like you mentioned, there's a bunch of moms here. Could you imagine if you had an alarm that went off on your phone, like 5 minutes before your kids got up or woke up from a nap or got home from school, that said, why is it so easy to be such a patient and loving mother today? Can you imagine how their lives would change forever from one question? Because you wouldn't let the stress of the day affect your parenting. You choose intentionality and proactivity in your parenting, and you'd show up for them on a regular basis. And you help them lead confident, amazing lives because of one question. Or how many of you guys are in a relationship or married? Raise your hand. In a relationship or married? What would happen if you had an alarm that went off on your phone 5 minutes before you or your spouse got home from work or before they pulled in the driveway that said, why is it so easy to fall in love with my spouse again today? Like, how would everything explode? I ask myself that question every day, and it's led to an amazing relationship. Your life will change if you do this, guys. It's not if, it will. That's a promise. What you're doing is you're planting new thought seeds. You're watering them daily with a blue question, right? All of a sudden you put weed killer on the red stuff. You let that die in your garden. Now all you do is you water the blue flowers. And within less time than you think, your garden's gorgeous. It's blooming with so many colors, giving your life oxygen again. And here's the thing. When your life has oxygen and you feel alive, what happens? Business gets easier. Business gets easier. How many of you guys feel Summer's energy on a regular basis? Don't see it, you feel it. How many of you feel her? That is because she is a living, breathing example of this. She has oxygen, she feels alive every day, and it attracts people to her life. Is this one mindset strategy helpful? Think you can use this in your life, in your business, your marriage, everything? Awesome. I have 2 more for you guys. Number 2, write this down. Your problem is not the problem. How you face your problem is the problem. Your problem is not the problem. How you face your problem is the problem. What does that mean? Well, when you are so emotionally attached to a goal coming true, you actually push that goal away from you. Now, don't take that to mean that you shouldn't be excited, passionate, get your hopes up about goals. You should. What I mean is, if your happiness is dependent on a goal coming true, you make that goal harder to achieve. How many of you have found yourself pushing really hard for a goal and it's like it's evading you in some way? It's like just out of reach every time. 2 steps forward, 2.5 steps back, and you don't know why. Or how many of you are like this? You achieve a big goal, but you feel empty inside. Like, hit Success Club 10. Well, now what? Right? Like, how many of you feel that way? Feel hollow and empty inside? Well, when you think that way and you come up short, how do you feel if your happiness is dependent on a goal? Which, by the way, you're gonna miss goals. Some are not if you've missed a few goals in your day, right? We've all missed goals. You're gonna miss them. But if your self-worth is dependent on that goal, you feel horrible, don't you? Your self-worth gets crushed. It leads to self-sabotage, getting into a slump. Find yourself 2 weeks later, finally finding the motivation to get back, and you lost all that momentum. Compounding negative self-talk, and you wonder why things are really tough in your business. It's because of this. When you try to build a business that way, isn't it incredibly overwhelming and intense and stressful to try to do this? Like, how? You have no idea how to solve it, so you start to accept it when it's not true. When you can see your challenges as a blue question, instead of being responsible for your emotional well-being, for your happiness, the challenges get easier. And huge important note here, and this is the overarching focus of everything I teach in my programs, everything I teach with my clients, everything. Business success and money will not bring you happiness unless you're already happy. Business success and money will not bring you happiness unless you are already happy. Happiness is what causes success. We need to understand that. That's the overarching principle of everything that I teach. Happiness and appreciation for the journey and the challenge is how you overcome the challenge. Most people don't get that. I didn't. It's why I stayed stuck for such a long time. Because life's lessons will get louder and louder and louder until you listen. When we see our life right now as wrong in some way, like, how many of you have said, I should be at that rank by now, or I should be at that goal by now? What we're doing in that moment is we're saying it's wrong to be where we are, but we're exactly where we need to be to learn what we need to do, or to learn what we need to learn to live the life we're meant to live. We're exactly where we need to be right now. This is why Shaun T talks about in his programs. If you want to create that body, you have to love your body as it is right now. Why would you hate the vehicle that's going to get you to freedom? It doesn't make sense. Seeing your current good is the fastest way to increase more good. What does that mean? Well, step into the common sense corner for a second. If you're God, the universe, whatever you choose to believe in, I'm not here to, whatever you believe is wonderful, but let's say you're God, the universe, whatever you believe in. Play ball with me here for a second. And you have person A and person B down on earth. Person A is that person that focuses on, this is, hey guys, can you your line, please?
Yo quiero ver baseball. Baseball. Basketball. No, yo quiero.
Hey, you guys, make sure you're muted. Will you guys try to help me find who's not muted? Oh, I think it went.
Here we go. Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. So you have person A, person B down on earth, right? Person A is that person that goes, you know what? This really sucks. Like, I'm not where I want to be yet. I should be further along. My bank account's always overdrafting. It's raining outside. Traffic's going to suck, right? Like, my husband's always annoying me, whatever it is, right? That's person A. Person B is that person that's going, oh my gosh, you know what? I just joined Summer's Challenge Group. I'm 100 pounds overweight, and I'm so excited to take control of my life. Or you know what? I signed up to build this business. No idea how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to be a 10-star diamond coach this year. Or you know what? It's raining outside. That means my flowers are going to grow. Or, oh my gosh, in the summertime, if you go outside, there's these little things called bees, and if you get too close to them, they sting you. It's amazing. They're like 1/100th of your size. They have so much courage. This place is so amazing, right? I'm just making crap up, right? But you get the point. You guys aren't laughing at my jokes. But you get the point, right? Person A and person B. If you're God, the universe, whatever you believe in, are you going to give more to the person that's complaining about having less? Or are you going to give more to the person that loves everything they already have, including the challenges? And what's awesome about this one skill, guys, is it means you don't need to work nearly as hard for exponentially better results. I'm not saying you shouldn't work hard. You should. But what I mean is, instead of slamming down on the gas pedal to get to that destination as fast as possible, and smoke's going out your tires, your death grip in the steering wheel, and you don't know why all these other cars are flying by you on the highway to success, you're going, what am I doing wrong? You realize the only thing that is going wrong is that your emergency brake is on. That's it. You got to step off the brake. You got to get out of your own way. So many people will try to climb the mountain of success saying, I'll be happy when. Like, put your dream on top of a mountain for a second. The problem with that, it's the same thing as trying to go on a hike with a blindfold on. It doesn't work. Have you ever gone hiking out west? It's a straight shot to the top, right? No. It's ups and downs, twists and turns, peaks and valleys, all that stuff. So if you have a blindfold on, guess what's going to happen? You're going to lose the trail. Probably going to trip, break an ankle. You'll need energize to get up that hill, but you're going to forget it at the starting point, right? And even if you do happen to get to the top magically with that blindfold on, you're not going to be able to see any of the beauty around you because you are attached to your dreams. You need to get there as quick as possible. You must. But what would happen if you took that blindfold off and you decided to go on this journey for the experience of hiking, not just the peak? What if you decide right now, go forward, to do your vital behaviors for the person you become and the growth you experience instead of just the outcome? What if you become committed to your goals, but not having your happiness attached to those goals? If you did that, wouldn't every part of that hike become beautiful? Everything would. Even if you're going downhill away from that summit, aka a coach quits, you get a return order, you drop in rank, you have lower volume than last year, whatever it is, even if that happens, if your goal is growth, don't you get a positive result because you learn something instead of hate something? So my challenge for you is from now on to do this for the person you become. And when you do that, that feeling of forcing things and like feeling like you're not getting enough results for the effort you're putting in, that's going to go away tonight. And you can become alive again every day, and your energy can become contagious every day. Living this way makes success so much easier. So like I said, I can't teach you how to do all of that in a 1-hour call, but I can give you one final tip that will make living this way so much easier. Do you guys have time for one more? Okay. I call this the secret sauce. The secret sauce. You might know it as genuine gratitude. Genuine gratitude. And some of you guys rolled your eyes. So put this in your notes. Gratitude is a success tool. Gratitude is a business tool. Gratitude is a marriage tool. Gratitude is a money tool. And by the way, by gratitude, I don't mean the BS gratitude where you look for red all day long and then jot 3 things down in a journal to feel better. That is not actually gratitude. If you actually feel those things in your heart, when you do them, amazing. That still counts. That's beautiful. But if you do it just to check it off a list, you're not actually practicing gratitude. And the reason gratitude is so important, the reason it's a success tool is because, write this in your notes, it is impossible to feel pain if you are deeply grateful. It is impossible to feel any disempowering emotion that stops your business from growing if you're grateful. Resentment, jealousy, anger, comparison, you cannot feel it. It's like trying to be sad and jumping up and down in the mirror naked. It doesn't work, right? You can't do both simultaneously because painful things are going to happen. Coaches are going to quit. Things are going to happen, right? Suffering from that pain is your choice. You do not have to suffer. It is optional to suffer, and gratitude is how you don't suffer anymore. Remember, seeing your current good is how you increase more good, right? Seeing what you already love in your life is how opportunity, solutions, blue comes into your life. So think about this. Sometimes one of the best ways to have gratitude is to have some perspective before we go into it. So think about this. You're watching a video about mindset from anywhere in the world. You're probably wondering what you're going to have for date night this week. Probably going to drive your car to work where you can supplement or provide the income for your family. You probably can take your kids to the doctor to get treated for medical care. Probably have a little dog or cat running around you can take to the vet to get treated for hot spots on their arm or whatever it is. You probably have an Apple TV you can turn on and watch Marie Kondo's Tidying Up or, Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones or whatever you're into right now. And most of you will take that for granted. When someone is going to kill themselves tonight, just let that sink in for a second. Someone is going to end their own life tonight. And we are taking for granted the miracles around us every single day. There's a mother out there who is going to watch her baby starve to death today. There are people out there injecting needles into their arms to cope with pain. There are countries that live in communism. 2/3 of this world live on $900 a year, $2.50 a day. If you can't pay your electric bill, you're rich beyond measure. You're so accustomed to the miracles happening around you every single day, you don't even view them as miracles anymore, right? This microphone, these Sharpies, this water bottle, this shirt, they're miracles. This team was once an idea. It was once a that would be cool if. It was just an idea in this incredible woman's head. That's all it was, which proves that you can create miracles any second of any single day. Most of you don't appreciate how literally everything around you was once an idea. We have the tendency to let go of gratitude and make it a rule that we can only be happy if something happens, only be grateful if something happens. And just like we talked about a minute ago, that is setting you up to suffer in life. If you can take away anything from this entire talk, it's the following sentence. Put this in bold, put it in your notes, put it by your computer. It's so important for you to hear. Nothing has to happen in order for you to be happy. Nothing. You don't need a rule before you can be happy. As long as you structure your life in a way where your happiness is dependent on something you don't control, you're never going to be fulfilled. Even if you have success, you could be winning at life and feel like you're losing because the scorecard you're using to measure success is unfair because it only allows you to feel happy if the next thing happens. And achievement without gratitude is total failure. You're breathing. You're alive. Isn't that enough to be happy about? And if you're smiling, business gets easier, doesn't it? A lot of you have these high expectations of your spouse, your kids, your team, your volume, your sales. And when your life conditions, meaning the way life is right now, doesn't match up with what you think it should be, you get frustrated or depressed or down. Like you have these rules of what needs to happen before you can be successful. You gotta let that go. Gratitude is one of the ways because your view of life literally determines your future. And when you do this, it's like if you have Shakeology in the sink, it's all mucky, right? But if you put that water on, slowly though that gets out of the cup and it becomes clear again, right? So if you condition this into who you are, slowly, the overwhelm, the depression, the fear, the negative self-talk, it's gonna go away. You're gonna become excited every single day. You are talking to someone right now who went through a period of time where I knew what I wanted so bad, but I'd find myself on the couch binge watching TV, wishing my business would grow and having all the tools I needed. And I was down on myself. I was into these depressed states. And even worse, I was pissed off at myself that I was depressed. I was pissed off at myself for being less than I could be. I was pissed off at myself for being face to face with mediocrity when I knew I was meant for more. And I would go through these perfection and guilt loops where I had to do things really, really well. If I didn't, I got down, and then I feel guilty for being down, and I had to do it perfect again. And even if I checked off my to-do list, I still wouldn't be happy. Even when I got to 2-star, 5-star, I didn't feel happy, and I didn't know why. And if you fast forward to now, I'm this annoyingly happy on a regular basis, right? Like, seriously, no BS. And like, sure, there are days once in a blue moon where I get the whole woe is me down feeling. We all do. But I can show you how to get out of it in 2-3 minutes using the skill of gratitude. So it doesn't take you 3 weeks. It can take you 3 minutes. In fact, what I learned from my mentor, Tony Robbins, huge Tony Robbins fan here, is that you can solve any problem in your business or your life or find direction to that challenge in 3 minutes using the skill of gratitude. So this is something I do not take credit for. This is Tony's work, but I need to share it with you because it's so powerful, okay? So go somewhere where you can allow yourself to feel totally vulnerable, totally emotional, totally real. If you're by your family, like close the door, like put your kids in the other room if you can, right? Obviously it's safe to do so. And if you know from being on video, you're not gonna play all out right here, turn your video off. Like turn the chat box and the video off, be fully present. And if you play all out with me for these next 5 minutes, it can dramatically impact the future of your entire life, okay? So play all out with me or find that spot you need to get to and start thinking of something in your life that stresses you out on a scale of 1 to 10, like a 7 or higher. Like start thinking about that right now. Is it unfinished business? Is it something that you need to say to someone? Is it something you haven't been able to achieve? What's that thing for you that you need to solve but haven't been able to? And think about all the stress it's leading to in your life. Raise your hand if you have your stressor, just so I can see. Do you have your stressor? Okay. Close your eyes, shake your body out, sit up nice and tall, and just trust me on this. I know I'm weird, but just trust me on it. Shake your body out. Take both your hands and physically put them on your heart for a moment. I'm going to take you through something called heart breathing. You don't need to understand it. Just trust me on this. And as you physically feel your heart, I want you to imagine taking a deep breath into your heart. Actually imagine the oxygen flowing in your nose, through your heart, and back out your mouth. Another one. Big deep breath in your nose, through your heart, and back out your mouth. And feel the power of your heart for a moment. Feel the strength of it. Feel it beating in your chest right now. Your heart beats 100,000 times a day without you having to do anything for it. As long as it beats, you live. It's the greatest gift you've ever received. You didn't have to buy this heart. You didn't have to earn it. Something thought enough of you to give you this beautiful gift of life the moment you were born. As long as it beats, you live. It's a gift. So take a moment and feel so deeply grateful that you have this gift of life right now. And breathe that gratitude into your heart right now. And now, from this beautiful state, go back to a memory in your life. What's a memory that you can feel deep feelings of gratitude for? What's that moment for you? Is it when you said, I do? Is it when you came home? Is it when you had your first baby? What's that moment for you? Step back into that moment and don't just see it from the outside. Relive it. Step back into that moment like you're there. Breathe the same way you did then. See what you saw then. Feel what you felt then. Hear what you heard then now. Like it's happening all over again, feeling so grateful, so appreciative of that amazing gift of a memory. And breathe that memory into your heart right now, feeling so grateful, and know that you have this beautiful feeling within you whenever you want. And now, feel that in your heart and go to a second memory. What's another memory in your life that you can feel deep feelings of gratitude for? What's that moment for you? Step back into that moment like you're there, reliving it first person all over again. See what you saw, hear what you heard, feel what you felt then now like it's happening, feeling so grateful, and breathe that memory into your heart, just appreciating it and just loving it and just cherishing that moment. Now go to a coincidence. What's something in your life that you didn't make it happen, but it showed up for you? You were in line at the coffee shop and you met the love of your life. You didn't mean to get pregnant. Now you have a beautiful family. You got a message on Facebook. You started your dream business. What's that coincidence for you? And think of everything it's led to in your life. Was it a person, a career, an insight, a life change? What was that for you? Feeling so grateful for where your life is now because of that coincidence. Was that actually a coincidence? Or were you being guided? Was it always supposed to happen? It's so beautiful when you realize that life is always happening for you and not to you. Even the problems, they're gifts because they lead to a more elevated version of you. So take a second and feel so grateful for that beautiful coincidence in your life. And now, just like the movies, let them flash in front of you all over again. Feel so grateful for your heart beating 100,000 times a day. Relive that first memory just for a split second. Relive that second memory just for a split second. Relive that coincidence. See it all over again. Feeling so grateful, breathing it deep into your heart, appreciating it, loving it, cherishing it, and now triple the amount of appreciation and love you have for this beautiful gift of life. Take it all in and just cherish it and love it. And now start to let this energy build and actually imagine it radiating out in every direction from you. Imagine it going to the people you love most, just sending it to them, cherishing this gift of life, smiling about it, and taking it and breathing it into your heart right now, feeling so grateful, so alive, so happy because you're breathing. Breathe that into your heart. And now, from this beautiful state, from your heart, not your head, don't think, feel, from your heart, go back to that stressor that you totally forgot about. Go back to that stressor you totally forgot about, and from your heart, ask your heart to complete the following sentence. In this stressful situation, all I need to remember is blank. in this stressful situation, all I need to do is blank. In this situation, all I need to say is blank. Ask your heart for the answer, because it knows, doesn't it? It knows what's next for you. When you found some sort of direction, you can open your eyes, you can come back on camera. How many of you found something real from that experience? And if you didn't, go back and try this again when no one else is around. But how many of you found some sort of direction, some sort of solve, some sort of clarity during a challenging time using the skill of gratitude? Gratitude is a success tool, guys. You have one shot here, guys, one. Most people go through life trying to stay safe, never going for it. You're not that person. By the way, that was the real you. That's the you that's not dominated by fear. That's the you that can solve any problem in his or her life. You do not control the length of your life, guys, but you do control its depth and its meaning. You're not put here to experience mediocrity. You're meant to feel fully alive every single second of every single day. And I can actually teach you how to do that, because you're exactly where you need to be, guys. Instead of just knowing that all you have to do to radically change your whole world is make this part of your life. And when you do, game over. Can you imagine how the world would change, how your clients' lives would change if this was how you woke up? If this is how you solved challenges, if this is how you went to bed, if this is how you handled conflicts in your marriage? How would everything change? What if this was your default setting? And what if this is something that could be coached into you so it's natural to wake up feeling like this? If that's something you feel you could benefit from, I'd love to take just 2 minutes and share about an opportunity for you guys to join me in a program that I've created to teach you how. Summer and I created a beautiful opportunity for you guys tonight. If you guys have ever been pushing so hard for a goal and it seems like it's evading you, or you don't know why success isn't happening, you have all the trainings but they're not working, and you have that negative self-talk, that those limiting beliefs, that lack of worth, all of those things are keeping you stuck, and you don't know what's stopping you from having success, but more importantly, just happiness in your life. I've created a course that will teach you how to break through all of it. And I mean all of it. The reason you feel stuck is that inner conflict, guys. And guys, this is not about selling you something. I think you can feel that this is just real. It's something that will get you unstuck. It's something that helps you just feel fully alive every day. There's hundreds and hundreds of Beachbody coaches in this program, created by a Beachbody coach for coaches. And because your leader is amazing, we've arranged a 50% discount on this program for the payment plan and full pay option. If things are tight, by the way, guys, like whether it's through me or through someone you trust more, if things are tight, that's why you need to invest in your growth. That's why you need to get to Summit. That's why you got to do those things. And because you don't know me very well, that's why I've included a 30-day guarantee on it, just so you can see how real this is. Jen Richardson, you guys know who that is? 15-star Diamond Coach, Million Club member. She says, and I quote, "Appreciation Academy is the missing link that every coach needs to finally see success." Micah Folsom, double 15-star Diamond Coach, says, and I quote, "If you're doing all the things and you don't know why you can't break through, or if you have achieved success and you feel empty, you need this program." And I can go on and on. I'm not here to impress you. I'm here to impress upon you that this is real. It rips away the layers of pain preventing you from being the person you're meant to be. It's not a business training, guys. It's not a business training. It's a mindset and heart training. It teaches you how to finally believe in yourself. That's what it does. And I will not disappear on you throughout this program. So just like we talked about, business and success do not create happiness. Happiness creates success. And it's 7 years of growth packed together. It's the only course I've ever seen that teaches you how to be happy. So if you felt something real, if you've been living in a memory that says you're not enough, if you know that mastering this part of your life is that key to the next level, then I encourage you to invest in the program. It'll change your life. That's a promise. So head to bradbizjack.com/team-call. Again, bradbizjack.com/team-call. Summer's going to share all this information in your team page afterwards, but thank you for the privilege of serving you tonight, guys. Whether you decide to join or not, I hope you got a lot out of this, and just thank you so much for your time. I hope to see you in an Appreciation Academy. And Summer, I will turn it back to you, my friend.
Brad, that was awesome. If you didn't get anything from that, I don't know. I guess I don't know. Like I mean, like I have never been through that. I got an answer to my biggest stress that I've been dealing with. I didn't even need to talk to my therapist. I just needed Brad. What the heck? No, I'm just kidding. Seriously. You guys, here's the thing. I don't believe, and this is why this resonated with me so much when I spoke with Brad. You know, I don't believe that you can get to a place of peace or reach your goals without mastering your mindset. I truly believe that. You know, I don't believe that reaching your goals will fix the things if you don't fix this first. Is it like, I am so in line with Brad, it's not even funny. You know what I mean? And you know, above anything else, I want you guys to love life. You know, that's something that Chad and I talked to Chad, you know, if you're asking what keeps you up at night, it's like, why aren't people happy? You know what I mean? Like, that bothers me, like really, really bothers me, you know? And this right here is really why I feel people are stuck, you know? And investing in yourself, like, it's the only thing that'll give you back 100% of your investment. You know, Brad said a lot of things that really, really resonated with me. But one thing, you know, in 10 years in this business that I can truly speak from when he said about the journey is that you have to fall in love with the process. And a lot of us are dreading the process right now. And it really is such a beautiful thing. You know, it's such a beautiful gift, the business, the whole process. But we're racing to something that when we get there, we don't even take a second to look back and to see how beautiful it is, because we're still racing to something because we got to it and it wasn't enough. So we keep looking up and we keep trying to prove that we're enough. And you've missed the whole, like, the business I love, obviously, but the most fun was in the middle. It really was, you know, and, you know, that's something that I think, because of our past, Chat, everybody, you know, the miles we have walked, I think we need help navigating these things, but we try to do them alone, you know, and I don't think you have to, you know. And so, you guys, this is something that I believe in, that if, let's just say you're like, I don't want to be a Beachbody coach, this is something that will pay you for the rest of your life. Whereas invite training, I'm just gonna be honest, it won't, not unless you go into, if you're in sales, you know what I mean? It might help you sell broccoli to your kids, but, you know, like, this is the type of stuff, like when Chad and I talk, like, then people are like, I need to know how to invite better. I need to know social media. That's not the problem. Chad hears me talk about this all the time. That's not the problem. Each one of us are exactly where we are at, based on our mindset, based on our belief system. And so if there's any way that I'm willing to do it with you guys, I got a sneak peek at it, obviously, or I wouldn't be endorsing it. You know, I got a sneak peek at it. I was like, yes, like, yes, this is something that will bless you for the rest of your life, that you can do with your spouse. You know what I mean? That they can participate, that this is something that Chad and I, like, we're going to show this recording to our kids. Like, this is legacy type stuff that will then, once you get this under control, will impact your business, will grow and flow naturally. Very, very naturally. So you guys, I'm going to be updating and putting this stuff in all the different places for you guys to decide whether it's a good fit for you. But Brad has to go. I will stay on if people have questions, but Brad has to go. We want to let you go, Brad. We are so grateful for your time. I'm so grateful for your heart. I'm grateful that there is someone out there like you. So I'm glad that this is where Beachbody led you to, because we need more of you. So thank you so much, and we're going to let you go so you can go sow into your next very, very lucky people that get to hear you speak. But keep doing what you're doing, and I will be joining you for sure. See you, Brad. All right, you guys, like I said, I will stay on here for a couple seconds. If anybody has questions on anything that you want to talk through, I'll answer. It could be anything from things that Brad said, because these are all things that I have studied over the last 10 years for sure. the crazy thing is I had to go to Danny Johnson for 6 years. I had to study John Maxwell and travel all the way out to, where was that at when I traveled out there with John Maxwell?
It was California, wasn't it?
No, not really. Colorado, because people are like, Summer, you should eat gummy bears. That's how I remembered that. I didn't, in case you're wondering. You know, I had to do a lot of things over the 10 years to try to get what I knew I needed to go to the next level. And even now, with where I'm at, looking for ways to get through, like, how many of you guys, when you said think of that one thing, you know, that is stressing you out on a scale at least 7 or higher, you found something that came to your mind immediately? I did. How many of you ended up with an answer? Mine was so simple. So simple. Did you get an answer to your issue?
I did.
You did? Was it simple?
It was simple.
Okay, and your heart tells you that was I have never been through that in my life. Never. I've never done that before, but that's probably because I need more Tony Robbins in my life. So what questions on anything, whether what we just talked about, whether it has to do with anything in the business, that I can sit here, I'm telling you, I'm willing to give you my time right now. If you need to get off and go to bed, off you go. It's totally cool. Won't offend me in the slightest. But I'm up. My hair looks good. And I'm going to utilize that. You know what I mean? I got energy. Thank God. You know? And like I said, my hair looks good. So I just like staring at it on the screen. You know what I mean? It's going to look good and natural.
I'm about to get hair extensions too.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Thank you, Megan. Talk to me, y'all. What are you thinking right now? Y'all are quiet. You are so, you're so welcome, Rebecca.
Well, I think people are asking.
Will you put the info? Yes, I will get this. There are so many different places. So if we're not in the same groups together, your leader, trust me, will get it from me and get it to you. What'd she say?
How do you prevent old habits carrying about so what he did was he played in his mind.
Yeah.
He played it on his audio every day.
You literally have to reprogram yourself. Literally. And if any of you guys are thinking about the positivity, listening to that summit, how many times did who you surround yourself come up with? Rachel Hollis today was like, I'm not saying that you need to get rid of your friends. And she was like, well, maybe I am. Like, you know what I mean? Like, person after person after person said, who you surround yourself. Why? Because the way they think, the things they focus on, the things they talk about become things that you think about, things you talk about. So some of you guys know my story, some of you don't. But when I started this business, I had to not hang around with the same people. They complained about money. They complained about being in the military, even though they agreed. You know, they complained about their spouse and how much they had to work, like our spouses had any control over that. They complained about being a single mom. It was complain, drink alcohol, try to outrun it. That was what we had going on. And I stopped. And did I get made fun of? Absolutely. But you start to become what you are around. You will be the average. You will be the average. Trust me, you hang out with people that bring salads to their potlucks, you know what I mean? And don't stay up all night and are chill and are health conscious and all that kind of stuff. If you on a regular basis hung out with people like that, you would slowly start to become that. Without a doubt, it would become your norm. That is the honest truth, right? And so I surrounded myself. I had Car Smart, which now you can get it for free, but I had to buy it and get it podcast by Shalene Johnson every single, is it Friday that she does it? I don't know. I listen to everything from Shalene. So, you know, like it played in my car. Like I took it to heart. I found what successful people were doing and I did it because I didn't know what successful people did. Like, do you know what I mean? So, like, literally, I heard people say, if my car was running, it ran on gas and personal development. I didn't listen to anything other than personal development. Period. End of story. Never. I don't care. My kids, no, you don't need to watch. Yeah, we had those little things that come down and entertain our kids. No, you can listen to personal development. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so I started, like, Tommy Migrant said he listened to personal development as soon as he woke up. I did that too. Why? Because if I didn't, what would I start to focus on? How I woke up by myself, how I had to do everything, how I was tired, how it wasn't fair, all those kind of things. But if I listened to something different, my focus was on the, is it blue? My focus was on the blue instead of the red. I programmed myself to focus on the blue, literally. You know what I'm saying? Is there any other questions? So those are like, we have, and you have to, like, one of my friends, Liz Taffeldat, is a therapist. She taught me thought stopping years ago. Like when I started this business, you know, she was like, you have to, as soon as the thought comes in, you have to say thought stop and replace it with something positive. Again, that's who I was hanging out with. So I was being taught those kind of things. You have to be, go the next time you hang out with your friends, see what they talk about. See what they talk about. See if that's what you want to be surrounded by. I'm being honest, you know, like those are the things, like you are the average of it. So see if you want the average of those marriages. See if you want the averages of those health and vitality and those energy levels. You have to seriously ask yourself that. Chad and I seriously don't go places that we don't want to go. Period. Freaking end of story. I won't go. Ask Chad. I won't go. Not if it's going to have a negative impact on my mindset. The town can be toxic. Yeah. Get a new town. Just kidding. I can teach you how to do that.
Kara asked, could this be the missing link? Missing piece.
Which piece? 100%. This is the missing 100%. 100%. The reason we don't follow trackers is because of our belief system. Like when, you know what I mean? Like I'd be running things and be like, well, I'm kind of sick of the tracker. Isn't that funny? You ever wonder why some people follow the tracker and some people don't? Why some people come up with all these reasons as to why, you know, like they talk about it like all of a sudden it's just a this kind of business, or I am not really. And it all has to do with this. It's a protection. We protect ourselves. If we're not all in, we can, when we don't reach what we secretly want, then you know we can't like, it's like, see, I really wasn't trying. You know what I'm saying? This is 100%. Everything rises and falls on belief. This is the stuff that I start out with teaching my challengers. 100%. They have, my challengers have certain videos that are in their checklist to check in. I tell them right off the bat, everything rises and falls on what you believe. Period. What your vision is, what you want, what you focus on. I have a whole thing that talks about your focus. You guys have heard me say, like, if you get a new car, you start seeing the cars everywhere. The only thing is, we can't be with each other everywhere. So you have to come up with daily disciplines. You have to come up with rituals. Tony Robbins talks about this. Rituals are everything. Everything. There are certain things that people that are healthy and fuel their body well, there are certain rituals that they have that those that don't share the same benefits of health don't have. Does that make sense? And so you have to establish your standards. That's another Tony Robbins. I don't come up with any of this stuff on my own. That's all Tony Robbins. That's what are your standards, right? And then what are the rituals that line up with it, right? And then sticking right there because you have a vision of what you want. Hold on. Did I miss any other questions? You guys look, are you tired? Did he wear you out with all that thinking? I know, that's good. That's good. It is so good to think instead of to go through life idle. You know what I mean? Trying to like push it all away. It is emotional, 100%. It's something that we try to not think about. It is what it is. You know, we try to rationalize it. It's what my mom did. It's what her mom did. Like, it's how it is. You know, we try to, and that's to protect ourselves. But when you do the hard work, everything else changes. I mean, think about it. If you did these things the way you invite it, you would be excited to invite because you would be excited about what you have to offer, right? You'd be focusing on, you know, like he talked about, the only reason, and I'm not even gonna go emerald, you guys. I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna go to diamond because that's just 10, 12 people. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, But see how I worded that? It's just 12 people. And some of you guys are like, oh my gosh, it's 12 people. Oh my gosh, by the time you're 18, 2,000 people. And it's 12. This is totally two different mindsets. It's why when I'm doing diamond retreats, I don't tell people a year in advance because it'll take you all year to do it. Am I right? When you were in college, you had all semester to write the paper that they told you on the syllabus. When did you write it? The weekend before it was due. Right? So it's true. It's how our brain operates. Right? So if the thing is if you think diamond is hard, if you think building a team is hard, it's going to be hard. The reason Nan opened up her second business center and it went emerald right away, because she thought it was like, it's easy. This is what I do. I have so much to offer people. This is awesome. Oh my gosh, so cool. I'm going to be placing them in a business center and building on them. It's going to be a great location for them. Oh my gosh, they're going to have so much success. That's a totally different mindset. And so when you believe it's easier, when you're like excited about it, you really do start looking for solutions. It's like when I was excited about giving Chad his long hair, I said, what are my solutions? Chad, like, he's made the comment a couple times about my hair being short. Well, I could be like, get over it. Like, do you know what I mean? Or I was like, what are my solutions? Right? So are you solution oriented? Like, if any of you guys ever ask your upline for a call, listen, everybody promise, say, I promise. Say it, I want to see your mouth. I promise to have 3 solutions for them that you came up with yourself, because that proves that you're looking for solutions. And now you just need an advisor. You just need like someone, a partner to be like, to kind of help you weed out which one's best. But if you don't, that means you're so closed off, you think someone else has to fix everything for you. And what does Rachel Hollis say about that? Stop waiting for someone else to fix your life. Why? Because you are fully capable. You are smart. You are courageous. You are bold. You want to know how I know you're bold? You signed up to start a business. You know how many people said no? Right? So you're bold. You're courageous. Not everybody does that. I know you can be solution oriented, because whatever your issue was, I need a discount. I need to be able to afford this shake. You're like, well, I could get a discount. See, solution oriented, right? Like right there. You know what I mean? Or I need to make some more money. How do I do it? Right? Sign up, open a side hustle. Perfect. You know what I mean? Like everything you have, when you have an issue, you have to ask yourself, what are 3 solutions? That's John Maxwell. You like that, Jenny? High five. Me and Jenny are big John Maxwell people. And John says, which is the first time I've ever heard this, one of the solutions should include you, right? So if you have a marriage issue, like seriously, your marriage is crap. Let's just go there. That's a problem, okay? So what are 3 solutions? Write them down. John Maxwell says this. There's a solution to everything. Everyone has problems. The only difference between the marriage that heals and the marriage that doesn't is that they found a solution, the way they approach the problem. Right? So what are the 3 things? And one of them has to include you. Right? One of them. So what can you do differently? Right? If we approached everything like that, I promise you, you would be in a different place in all the areas of your life that were important to you. This being one of them, because you don't spend an hour on a Wednesday showing up for something that you don't value. So right then and there, just acknowledge that. This is, everybody say, ready? This, let me see your mouth move, is important to me. Or you wouldn't be here. We had one of the best speakers that I've ever had the privilege of really talking to. And you showed up. 55 people out of a 15,000 person downline. What percentage is that, Chad?
Jeez, I don't know. 0.01?
0.0 something 00? Which means you rock. You see what I'm saying? Other people said, I'll watch the recording. I'll catch it later. And that's fine. They might. If you're watching this recording, I love you. You mean so much to me. I really do. But I'm saying, you guys said, I'm going to be here. It's important to you, right? So let's look for solutions. If you're struggling with mindset, if this is something that has been following you, you need a solution. Doing the same thing over and over and over again is not working, right? Who was it today on the Positive Academy, or I'm missing it, Summit, the Positive Summit that said, was it Rachel Hollis? It was Rachel Hollis. She's talking about people, she talked about their health and wellness and their fitness journey. And they're like, I know exactly what to do. And she's like, obviously not. Obviously you don't know exactly. There's a missing link. You need a wingman, you guys, of some sort. If you're struggling with depression or anxiety or feeling like not enough, we need to look for a solution. You can't keep going through that. Am I right? So what are the 3 options to that? Does anybody struggle with I'm not enough? I suck. Why can't I do this? Does anybody here struggle with anxiety, depression, procrastination, those kind of things? Okay. If you do, what are 3 options to overcoming that? That's looking for the blue, because you're looking for a solution. What you look for, you will find. That's even biblical, right? So 3 solutions. You could get a therapist. You already said in your mind, that's too expensive. I know it. Didn't you? How many people that went through your mind? That's too expensive. Or I can't find one I like. It never works. Some of you are so programmed that way, you already thought of every reason you couldn't find a therapist. I have kids at home, really, because my therapist is virtual. My therapist is virtual. It only took me 2 sessions to get myself out of my suck with that therapist. 2 sessions. Right? When you're looking for a solution, you'll find it. Okay, so what's another one? What's another thing we can do when it comes to when you're stuck? You go to Tony Robbins' event. Am I right? Tell me this. Those of you that feel like, what is something that you have done to further yourself in that area? We have to continuously. Something that successful people do is they're always investing back in themselves. And you know what is kind of sad, if I'm being honest, because we start to program ourselves this way, because we can get everything free on podcasts or whatnot. We don't want to pay for anything. How's that free working for everybody? How many of some of y'all been a coach, been doing free podcasts? I'm just going to show up for the team calls, and you're in the same place that you were last year or the year before. Or the year before. You see what I'm saying? Why? Because when you purchase something, there's actually skin in the game. Some of you, because this was free, because Brad talked, you'll never look at these notes again. But you know what? When I went to a Danny Johnson event, we put it on a credit card that was almost maxed out, and I needed to go, and I need to figure out, why is no one saying yes to me? That's when I went to Danny Johnson. I looked for a solution. Guess who I asked? Tommy Migrant. What do I do? He said, you need to go to Danny Johnson. I said, okay. And I went, and I sat there. And yeah, she said all kinds of things. I didn't agree with offensive stuff, made fun of the military. That's okay. I don't need that. I'm not focusing on the red. I'm focusing on what she does know how to do, and she knows how to build multi-level marketing. What am I missing? I was missing vision. I was missing self-talk. I was missing a whole bunch of things. Guess what sat by my bed every single night? Those notes. I read them every single. Now I could teach her material for her. I knew when I sat in her audience, I knew what she was going to say next, because I read it every night. Now I'm not suggesting that we have to go do that, but I am suggesting that you find a solution. Maybe Brad is it, maybe Brad's not it, but you have to find something. But you're not meant to stay in this place. There's too much life. There's too much to enjoy. There's too many blessings around us. Our kids grow up too fast. We get old too fast to just sit here in this suck. Right? And like he said, I can tell you guys how fearfully and wonderfully you're made. And I believe that with all of my heart. But until you start to reprogram yourself, it won't matter because we're not around each other enough, right? Unless you want to come live with me. I don't know if that'd be very fun. Chad farts all the time. It stinks. Let's just be honest. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know, right? Like, oh, you guys so cute. Well, he farts all the time. How about that part? What if I start putting that on Insta stories from now on? So anyway, all right, you guys, if y'all don't have any other questions, I guess me and my hair will go to sleep. You guys, there's like, I took a nap today, laid down with Riley. It's different. Y'all ever had extensions? It's okay. It's worth it. You know what I mean? I appreciate that, Kelly. I feel hot. Like, watch out. My mother-in-law's on here, so I won't say much after that. The chandelier, watch out. Thanks, Jen. Oh, Lord. Okay. You guys, your homework, so to speak, is to look for a solution. Whatever it is, if you feel it's the right solution for you to move forward mentally, physically, then I'm on board. I want you to live your best life. And I wanted to put Brad in front of you to give you an opportunity and a solution option. You know what I mean? But just promise me that you'll look for a solution. Like don't talk about a therapist. Make the appointment. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, don't talk about it. Stop talking about it. Stop talking about it. So everybody should have a therapist. I'm just saying. But something. You need to have the skills to dig out some of these weeds, right? Because what we do, like Ollie makes me, like my 6-year-old makes me. I can't believe that just came out of my mouth. But he's so darn cute. He makes me pay him to pick my weeds. Like, right, he's very, very convincing. He's a good salesman. He goes out. He doesn't even ask. He just goes and picks them and brings it. He said, $5, please. I'm like, holy moly, that is an assumptive close right there. Like, he just went for it. Can you imagine if he just went and told someone like, hey, I made your cart for you, $160, please? I don't know. It might work. Just put their email address in and send it to them. Like, I took the liberty of making it for you. This is going to work. It's Ollie's sales strategies. Anyway, he makes me pay him. Where was I going with that? Why am I talking about that? I totally lost my train of thought. Y'all, I don't know why I told you that story. Like just like that. Can anybody remember what I was talking about? Why does that happen? Does that happen to you? It's like the devil trying to block what I was about to say something profound. The devil knew it and was like, blank, look for a solution. Oh, thank you. But Ollie, like, I had to teach him because he was just going and picking the top off. You know what I mean? Which is really good for him because they pop right up a couple days later and he can just keep taking my money. You know what I mean? He's like, I found more. But I had to show him, here's this little shovel. You have to get the root. And you know what he said to me? He's like, but they don't grow back as fast. Can I go pick someone else's weeds? Like, do you guys see what I'm saying? If you get to the root of what is tripping you up, like he's talking about, like he just took us through, it won't pop right back up tomorrow. Does that make sense? Yes, you'll still have to do maintenance. Yes, new things will pop up. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, 100%, but you'll have the skills to dig them and take them out. You see what I'm saying? You really don't want to, like dandelions, you don't want a yard full of dandelions, y'all. And I'm not about to put chemicals on it. Some of y'all keep putting chemicals on your problems. You know what I mean? Chemicals is toxic. You keep doing, like, you drink wine at night, putting chemicals on it, or you keep going around the same toxic relationships or whatever, right? That's like putting chemicals. Like, you know, when around our neighborhood, people have really green grass, I always tell my kids, don't go in that grass. They're like, what? Like, there's the chemicals. You avoid that grass. You avoid that grass. You go to the ones that have, you know what I mean? It's not so bright green. You know what I'm saying? So some of you guys put in chemicals, and so on the front, it looks so good, right? Looks good on social media. But behind the scenes, doesn't feel so good, right? You step on it, it's chemicals. You know, your feet start to burn. Grow a sixth toe on your foot. Serious. That's how I feel about chemicals. I don't know where I'm going with that, but I just love you guys so much. I just like to talk to you. I love you guys. I hope this helped. The grass is green on the other side. It's probably turf. That is so true. I believe that. If the grass is green on the other side, I always say they probably put chemicals on it. Nobody want no chemical grass. don't want your kids playing in chemicals. How many of you guys just wrote down, cancel True Green chemical guy coming tomorrow? Seriously. It's not good for your gut biome. Anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. I love you. Get some sleep. Wake up. Sarah has a question. Crap, I didn't know. I'm sorry. Go ahead, ask your question. Is it somewhere? Did I miss it?
Oh, it's not a big deal. I could probably find the answer. I just didn't know if you knew about his academy. Like I'm looking on the website. What's the duration of it?
Oh,
Like,
there's a bunch. I'm gonna send it to you. There's different options and stuff. It's not like necessarily a duration, so to speak. You have a group and you get to move through it. There's different, there's all different within the academy. There's different academies. Does that make sense? It's similar to Shalene Johnson's, where I've never lost access to Shalene's. And so when I'm struggling with organization, I go back and listen to the modules on that. When I'm struggling with delegation with Shalene, I go back and listen to that. Does that make sense? And so there's different modules for you to listen to, and then he has the group, and there's a bunch of bonuses and one-on-one call options depending. But I know if a certain amount of people, what him and I came up with, certain amount of people show up, we get up to 75% off.
Because I looked at that's awesome. I mean, I looked at the website, and if you put in when your call was, it gives you that 50% option, and you can do a one-time pay or a 12-month pay, but it sounds like you have even more than that available.
Well, I believe he didn't think I could get that many people to sign up, so he didn't mention it, perhaps. I don't know.
How many people is it?
I didn't look. I just saw 75% off, and this is what I said to myself. That's what we're going to do. You know what I mean? Why would I pay 50%? Let me pull it up. If I can, get enough people to get 75%. Hold on. I'm just looking in my messages because him and I were talking in there.
And I know that your answer is it's got to hurt a little bit, but if it hurts 75% off, that's a little better than hurting 50% off.
Right. I agree. Hold on. Let me look. If 81 to 100 coaches sign up, we get 75% off. According to this, 1 to 10 coaches from this call is 50% off. I was like,
wait, 1 to 10 is 50% off, but 81 to 100 is 75% off?
Yeah, it goes up incrementally. So
got it.
Yeah. So 11 to 25 is 55% off. 26 to 40 coaches is 60%. 41 to 60. 26 to 40. Then 41 to 60 is 65%. 61 to 80 is 70%. And then 81 to 100 is 75%.
What's our time frame on signing up?
Let me double check with him. Him and I didn't talk about a time frame, actually. We didn't, but you know what? We'll have his group, or we can even have weekly calls. Those people, if we, or monthly calls or whatever, if people sign up, that we can navigate things together, whatever everybody wants to do. I already purchased, so I'm in.
Well, because I'm not home. I told Ben I wanted to do it, but he's hanging out with a buddy, so I have to talk to him tomorrow. But I want to do it. I think it sounds really neat, and it sounds enough different than the other things that we've been pitched that I think it's going to really, I guess it's growth in the way that I want to grow.
Yeah. Yeah. I think what really got me, and I talked to Micah Folsom, I talked to Jen Richardson, I talked to Brittany Leggett, I talked to a lot of the people that are doing it, and it's one of those things, especially for Micah Folsom. She said her coaches that are I'm doing all the things, but it's not going like I wanted it to go. This was the breakthrough point for them. Does that make sense?
Well, it does, because I'm one of those people. I have all the people, Summer. They're just in the wrong place in my downline. And so I am 100% sitting where I was a year ago. I mean, I'm not, but in the same, I'm not, but I am.
Rank is not everything, right?
No, but it keeps me out of that Diamond Deep group.
It does. You don't want to stay out of that. Why wouldn't you want a $4 raise? Anybody
Absolutely. But that's what I'm saying. So, I'm not in the same place I was last year at all, but in a way I am. So.
Yeah, I think too, and you guys, as you start to, I was talking on a 5-star call today about this, but I said, you start to attract different people. I'm just going to be honest with you. When you believe a certain way, you talk a different way. You know what I mean? And so, you know, it's just the honest truth. You know what I mean? And so even as we started reverse engineering some things, like, it all comes down to this belief process, you know, that can you do it? Hear me out on this. Can you do it without Brad? Yes, I did. You know what I'm saying? But I probably, okay, I don't know. I didn't look at the cost of his. I'm going to be honest. Did anybody see what the cost is?
I did. It's $1,000.
Okay, that's what I thought.
No, the 50% off is $1,000.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The 50% off is $1,000 or $100 a month for 12 months.
Really? Just $100 for 12? That's good. Really? Now, when you break it down like that, y'all, your phone costs you how much a month? You guys have, some of y'all have loans on your phones. True story. Drives me nuts. But I would say to get where I am, I probably invested about $100,000 into my personal development, at least. Traveling, the amount of Danny Johnsons I had to go to understand forgiveness, like, it was like, like, you know what I mean? Like, no, Summer, you know, and to break free from some of the mindset bondage I had, you know, that was a lot, you know. I have Shalene events and John Maxwell events and stuff like that. I'd say let me be really real and honest. When I got stuck recently, it's because I stopped putting myself in a growth environment. That's the honest truth, you know? So, you know, but I knew how to get out of it. Does that make sense? Like, you know what I mean? Because, like, you're aware, I was looking for solutions. Kelly Brown knows, like, I'm like, maybe this, maybe this. Like, I was doing and trying and doing and trying, and you know what I'm saying? And then it was like, I'm not in a growth environment. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like John Maxwell said in one of those things, like, if you're the highest ranking person, if you're, you know what I'm saying? You're in the wrong place, right? So I had to go intentionally put myself for one weekend. I'm just going to give you guys perspective to spend one weekend with John Maxwell. No, I don't even think it's a weekend. I think it's Thursday, part of Friday. I paid $5,000 to go. $5,000 to go in the middle of May, you know. And so my point telling you that, there's actually lower ones, Susan, for Tony Robbins. They don't all start off at that really high rate. Chad and I were just talking about wanting to go. But my point is that this is the best place you can invest. Really? You know what I mean? And you all know how to invite, right? Everybody here pretty much like, ready? Everybody repeat after me. Have you ever considered doing what I do? Say it. Oh, you guys see, we all know how to invite. But the problem is some of us said it like really soft. Some of us thought differently about it. Like when I say, have you ever considered, I'm thinking about how much freaking fun they're about to have and how awesome this is about to get, like for them, and how their life is going to change. Like, so those are two different mindsets. So when I talk to someone, it radiates out of me, and it has since my mindset started to shift. Yeah, do the payment plan, make it to goal to make that payment and do it. Yeah, I mean, here's the honest truth. He said you could do it for 30 days and get your money back. You know, I mean, so why is it so easy? Megan, that was good. That was so good, man. I like Megan. How do I stop being sucked into BS at work? I'm the only clean eating PD person I know. Like I would start looking for a different job. That's one option, right? Give me 3 solutions, girl. Give me 3 solutions. You guys see what I'm saying? The first thing that came to me was get a different job. You're capable. You're capable. All the you can apply, right? However, the other option, yes, Beachbody, is 3 is be the coffee bean. You know what I'm saying? You all listened about, did you guys hear that on the positive summit, Power Positive Thinking Summit? Be the coffee bean. This guy went into a prison. And you can either be the carrot, you can be soft. You can start out hard and become soft, right? You can be an egg. You can start out hard on the outside and become hard on the inside because of your surroundings. Or you can be the coffee bean. When you put a coffee bean in hot water, I guess I missed the hot water part. When you put everything in hot water, you put a coffee bean, it changes the water to coffee. You see what I'm saying? So you got to ask yourself, which one are you going to be? You know what I'm saying? Like, we all have that, the ability, we're going to be one of them, right? And so for the time being, like, you can't control the people in your environment, right? You can't control them. You can't control, like, other people, but you can control yourself. You can control how you respond to them. And in leadership, you guys, you're going to have to, because guess what you might have on your team? Negative people. Go figure. Like, do you know what I mean? You in leadership, you'll have people telling you why this doesn't work. You'll have people telling you don't do enough. You'll have people telling you that do it your call should be at a different time. You'll have people telling you that you didn't have a big enough retreat house. You'll have people tell you understand it doesn't go away, but you get to choose how you respond and the energy that you bring, right? Before I walk into any retreat house or anybody arrives, I have rituals for my energy, right? I pray, I walk the house, and I envision every single person coming in and how I want to exchange energy with them. Every time. I do it with my kids before they wake up. I do it after school. I learned these from not John. I learned that from Scott Mann, who we paid $2,000 a month to work with each. Okay, right? Then I learned it from Brendan Bouchard, who I bought programs from, right? So we get to Beachbody is such a small piece of our day, right? A small piece of our day. I don't want you to become people that are faking it here and then going crazy in the rest of your day. The other 23 hours, power hour, okay, I'll give you 2 hours. Much after that, y'all don't need it. You're just screwing around and procrastinating, okay? For real, right? And so the other 22 hours of the day, you still have to live that. So learning these skills, it's like invaluable. You know what I'm saying? So, be the coffee. Yeah. Framing that in my house. Yes, I love that. Megan, you're awesome. You can feel your energy. So I don't know if that helps at all. And I'm not saying it doesn't suck. You know what I mean? Like, there are things you can control. There's things you can't control. You have to work, for now. You know what I mean? But if you frame it, did or did not that job help you to get a house that you've always wanted in some form of fashion? Because let me tell you what, when you're an entrepreneur and you try to get a loan, I bet you they like your paycheck better than mine. You know how much crap I get? I'm serious. Yeah, because they don't like it. They don't like it. You know what I mean? And so that job that is back to, I think it's CVS you work, I think, am I right? Right? That job, like, so it's a total flip of that. Like, it's reframing everything, right? So for example, the military, that was a hard 11 years of my life, right? And then Chad struggled after the military, and we moved multiple times, not because I wanted to move. Newsflash, I would have stayed in Beaufort, South Carolina. I'd be getting ready to move because Casey's moving, and that's what I would do. But that's what I wanted to be. Do you know what I'm saying? But there was something that moved in Chad's heart that moved us to Texas, and I had to be there. I had to, for the things that I learned and what we went through, as painful as it was. I had to be there. Life was happening for me. Does that make sense? Life was happening for sure. It's reframing. Whereas Chad was like all pissed that we went to Texas, and he was beating himself up. I can't believe I moved my family to Texas there. And I'm like, and I'm saying, oh my gosh, Chad, thank you for listening to that small voice, that told you we were supposed to live where we were supposed to live. Thank God, for real. And it was painful, but I had to live that. It's a totally different perspective. Chad lived a couple years in agony over it. I lived in peace. Totally two different perspectives. So when I was filling out a journal with Riley and I passed a journal back and forth. One of the things are, what's your biggest regret? I don't have any. I don't. I wouldn't be here in this neighborhood at that school if I hadn't walked all of those things that I had to go through. Does that make sense? And so it's a total flip. Was it hard? Yes. Did it make me who I am today? Yes. Is Riley and Griffin and Ollie thriving in the school? Yes. I would have never appreciated the school. I would have never made the decision to invest that much into the school if I hadn't lived on the other side. Does that make sense? I had to walk it. But the difference is I never stayed stuck in anything. So when there was an issue, I was looking for solutions. Does that make sense? Okay, Chad's struggling. What's the solution? And we were communicating. So I wasn't looking at the red. Like the red would have been this. Chad, you know how hard I worked so that you said you wanted to get out of the military. What's the problem? Like, you know what I mean? That's the red. Like, why aren't you ever appreciative? Are you kidding me? Like, it could have been that, or it could have been, what do you think we need to do next? What are you feeling? Like, do you know what I mean? Those are two different mindsets. Why are you doing this to me? And what do we need to do? Two different things. So you always look for solutions to your situations. You know what I'm saying? So I could talk to you all night. I really could. Y'all coming to Summit? Yeah, we've been talking to some places. There's going to be a Friday night thing that hopefully y'all can come to on a rooftop, just because I like rooftops, and we hope to have a little live music. You know, one guy playing a guitar. How awesome is that? Chill and just fun, just being together, being surrounded, a great place to be vulnerable and talk about what we want, where we want to go, what we're excited about, and laugh and dance and all those kind of things. So it's your first Summit, Megan. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. It is, I mean, I'm partial, but our team is by far the best. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even, like, for real. All right, you guys, get some good sleep. Let me know if you have any questions. I think you guys are rock stars. The fact that you leaned in and wanted to learn and you're still listening, and you're like, I feel like that's how I was. If someone was talking, if Tracy Mara was talking, I was listening. Oh, tell me more. Tell me what you got. You know what I mean? Like hungry, hungry, hungry. That's the only thing I ask people. Something I tell all my challengers, you know, all of my coaches when I talk to them, the only thing I ask for is a coachable spirit and a hunger to learn and a willingness to change. Without those three things, if you come with those, anything's possible. But if one of those are missing, if you're not willing to change, you can be hungry to learn and be coachable, but you're not willing to change. You're still stuck in your suck. You're like, no, but you don't get it. Like, you don't understand, Summer. You don't know the life I've lived, blah, blah. That's not willing to change. I can't coach you. Nobody can. We can jump coaches. We can do all of those things. But if you're not, you know what I'm saying? If one of those things are missing, so you guys are here, obviously you're teachable, you're coachable. Obviously you're hungry to learn. The only question is, are you willing to change? You know what I mean? And I'm going to be praying that you do find the courage to change, to look for the solutions, because it is worth fighting for. It really is. It's not always easy, but I'm telling you what, it is so worth it. Y'all are worth it. So when I see you at Summit, I expect you to talk to me like a normal human being, hug me, hang around me. Like sometimes I'm like, no one wants to be around me, Chad. Like they just stay in this like almost like this, oh, just at an arm's length distance. Like, come on, I want to have friends too. I love you guys. Get some good sleep. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. You guys fill my cup. I love you guys so much. I'll talk to you later. See ya.